Hi, 1B students. I am so sorry that I can't be here today. I really felt the need that I needed to walk my daughter Jane, she's 2.5, of course, to preschool today, and she starts today. And I wanted to be there for her, and I think she needed me there. So I'm going to take her to preschool for the first day. I talked to you about how important it is to be in class, and I please know that this is not. This will not happen frequently, but sometimes mommy just has to be with the little ones. So I wanted to make a video for you so you knew exactly what today, so that today would not be a waste by any means. So please watch this video and then ask Mr. Quintana, who is going to be covering my class, to get any handouts that you're going to need. Okay, he's got all the handouts, but I just wanted him to not feel like he had to instruct an AP class, and I could probably do it from my computer. So let's check it out. Okay, so here's what you're going to do today. First of all, we didn't finish the notes, and I know that your homework that was due today is chapter 2 notes. If you didn't do them, you have another week, because I'm not there to physically check them off. I'll typically stamp them and in your notes, and we'll move on, and I'll give you some credit for that. But I'm not here to do that, so I will do it next week. Thank you for getting it done. And just keep on that pace, because usually those assignments will be due every time I see you in person. So again, we didn't finish the chapter 1 notes. So the first thing you need to do is go to Test Overview 2021. That's the notes that we started last week. And when you click into that, you'll go to where we left off. And where we left off was on the notes for soapstone. So I'll go there. So we left off on this slide, and so all you need to do is finish off the last few slides. Okay, so we've got the rhetorical triangle, and so this is dates back to when rhetoric was first identified and established back in the time of Socrates, and just centuries and centuries ago. This is just kind of, they call it the classic rhetorical triangle, and so the interaction between the speaker and the subject and the audience and the speaker kind of determines the structure and language of argument. So the speaker has to know a lot about the subject. The subject has to be obviously relevant to the speaker. The speaker has to have a relationship with the audience, and the audience then has to trust the speaker in order to believe what the speaker is saying. And then the audience has to know a little bit about the subject or have a relationship with the subject if they're going to actually act or move or be convinced. And the subject then has to be appropriate for the audience. Okay, so this relationship, this two-way relationship for all three of these points on this rhetorical triangle are important. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. We've got types of appeals. These are ways that authors and speakers try to appeal to an audience through, you may have known it as ethos, pathos, and logos. We don't use those words in this class because they're kind of elementary. Instead, we say appealing to credibility, that's the ethos part, appealing to logic, and appealing to emotion. Okay, so write that down and finish off your notes for chapter 1. Okay, that's step 1. After that, I want you to get a sheet of paper from Mr. Quintana. It's purple. It's double-sided. And these are questions that are about visual analysis. So when we look at a visual text, what kind of information do we want to get from the text? Okay, so again, it's two-sided. There's a horizontal side and there's a vertical side. I kind of like the vertical side. I think the questions are a little better. And so you're going to practice some analysis right away. Not soapstone, you're going to get to that. You're going to practice some analysis by looking at a visual. And then I want you to just pick 5 to 6 questions. It can be any of these. It can be any of these. Just pick 5 to 6. Again, not all of them. It's not required. But in your notebook, I want you to answer these questions for what you think, how it applies to the image that I'm going to show you. And I'll just go ahead and show it to you. Maybe. So this is a really popular image from a couple years ago. And we've got LeBron James on the photo, or on the covers in Vogue magazine. And then we have Gisele, I can never say her last name, Bündchen, married to Tom Brady, supermodel. So it's these two megastars posing together, okay? I want you to pay attention to the colors. I want you to pay attention to the words on the page, the expressions on their faces, And we can start to think of this text being an argument. And what is the argument that's being made here? So this visual text analysis sheet will help you kind of organize your thoughts when you see a picture like this. Okay, so one of the questions, for example, is how is the picture composed? What is your eye drawn to first? And what immediate impression is created? Is there any particular information highlighted or stressed? So pick 5 to 6 of these to answer about the cover of this Vogue magazine from a couple years ago. We're going to work with it more next week when I see you again. Okay? All right, it's kind of fun. All right, so that's task number 2. Now, going back to some of the other things that we want to focus on are SOAPstone, that acronym that we did the first week of school, the phase-in week, is we need to start reading. We need to start reading text. You're technically reading a text when you see that visual, but then let's kind of take it up a notch and do one for an actual op-ed. Okay, so the op-ed that I have for you is by Charles Blow. He is an opinion writer for the New York Times. And this is a pretty popular op-ed that was published a couple weeks ago called In the Wake of Protests. So it's about Black Lives Matter. When we think about the speaker, I mean, he's pictured right there, but he is Black. And so that's going to affect the way that he approaches the audience. It's going to affect the way he approaches the subject. And again, think about that rhetorical triangle. So it's super short, just a page and a half. Okay, and I want you to write the SOAPstone down here. Okay, I want you to identify what the subject is, the occasion, the audience, the purpose, the speaker, and the tone. Okay, I have this for you in a different file so you can check it out. So you'll have Mr. Quintana hand this out to you. So when you click into that page, it gives you the directions. So first of all, you're going to number the paragraphs. You're going to circle keywords like, for example, racial justice or protests, something that comes up a lot and then will help you identify subject. You'll underline claims, which are opinions and arguments made by the author and the opinions and arguments made by those he quotes. He will quote Barack Obama. He quotes, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it again so I can make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Oh, he quotes Black Lives Matter co-founder and activist Patrisse Cullors, who spoke at the DNC last week. So you can underline those claims that those speakers make too. And then, like I said, on the back, just in the space that's available here on the back, you would just kind of identify SOAPstone in a vertical manner. Okay, so what's the subject? What's the occasion, the time, the place, the motivation for writing? Who is his ideal audience? What's his purpose? It should always start with a to what, to blank, to verb. The speaker, and then the tone. Mr. Quintana, I don't have it with me, will also hand out a verb sheet to help you with purpose. Okay, so to win an argument, to evoke sympathy, to inform, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's all kinds that you can use. And then he'll also hand out a sheet on tone, so you can think about what Charles Blow's attitude is towards the subject that he speaks about. Okay? All right, so that's going to take you a little bit of time. I'm okay if you want to work together with SOAPstone, so I want you to quietly read it and annotate it, but then I'm totally fine if you and a partner want to sit next to each other, keeping a little bit of distance between yourselves and your masks on, want to work through the SOAPstone together. I think you absolutely should and can, and that'll be how you kind of get, talking today. Finally, in addition to making sure Chapter 2 is ready to go for next week, I do have a homework slide for you. Okay, you're going to complete the same exact annotation, numbering the paragraphs. You're going to underline claims, circle keywords, and identify the SOAPstone for a different op-ed of your choice. Your choices are between an op-ed written by a Black woman, which I think is a really interesting perspective about why we should not take down Confederate monuments and statues. So I think that's an interesting perspective because it's uncommon. And then the other one is about a stone mountain. There's an engraving of something from the Confederacy, from slavery. And of course, a lot of people want that one to be taken down, covered, changed in some way. So if you want to read one about why monuments should be taken down and historical carvings hidden or covered or changed, then pick that one up. Okay, so you have a choice. Again, annotation guidelines are the same. Like I said, I'll check your Chapter 2 notes next time we see in person. We'll finally go over the syllabus. and talk about how I grade in this class. You can email me with questions as far as keeping dates straight and due dates straight. Also realize that tomorrow and Friday, you're going to be remote for your red classes. I'm sorry, you're the red cohort for your B-Day classes. I guess technically your remote day would be Friday since today's Wednesday, but you can start working on it tomorrow as well. These also are due by next Wednesday's in-person class. Okay, so make sure you log on for some extra support. It's going to be working more with Soapstone and actually getting into AP Classroom and getting logged in there again. Okay? All right, that's a lot of information. Have a great class. Again, thank you for understanding. I felt this pull to be with my kid today, and I know she needs me there. So I will see you Wednesday, and always be checking back for Schoology for updates whenever I have them for you. Have a good class.